You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Arrow After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Arrow After Show.
Hello, good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV, and thanks for joining us. Tonight we are doing another recap of CW's Arrow, Season 1, Episode 11, Trust But Verify. Ooh. I really like this episode. This episode was a lot more action-y than last episode.
I was like, oh, Kelly's gonna be so mad.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I had more juicier details too, which I like.
Yeah. And it started off with a really cool heist, and of course that's the big part of the show, but we'll get into that later. I want to kind of jump right into the relationships that are kind of obviously dissolving within during the show. So let's start with Merlin and Tommy.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
Okay, sound effects.
Alrighty.
But yes, let's talk about that because it's the first time we saw our two heroes get into a fight tonight, and I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I mean, so Daddy Merlin is back in this episode. I really like him. I think I'm a villain girl. I think I like villains. Yeah. That's just my thing.
You know what's funny is they did, you're just speaking of relationships dissolving, they did an interview with him and he was saying it might be dissolving, but it's actually evolving, if that makes sense.
That makes absolute sense.
Yeah, so I think we're going to see a lot more of him going on, him and Tommy's relationship that's going to crumble but cause other events to occur.
Yeah. So, you know, we see Merlin calling his son after he pretty much got rid of him, and he's asking his son, like, hey, come to dinner with me. I want to have dinner with you and meet your wife.
She's calling it early.
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally got so excited. I'm caffeinated. I have to introduce everybody here.
Like,
you should have told me. I'm so sorry.
That was a sound effect.
Everyone should know us.
Trying to grab the spotlight.
All right. No, I'm Kaori Takee, and with me are...
Hi, I'm Alikona Bradford.
Hey guys, I'm Annika Michelle.
Yes, and I apologize, guys. I just jumped right into it.
She was so excited.
I was so excited about this episode.
There's so much going on. There's abs, there's betrayal, there's all these things.
Drugs.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
Drugs. Bad.
But, so anyway, we're going back to the dinner. Merlin and Tommy are having dinner, and she's getting introduced, Laurel, not the wife, but the girlfriend. And what does Merlin want? He wants Tommy to sign away his deceased mother's clinic.
You know what? But okay, here's the thing, as I already saw that coming as far as him having an ulterior motive. Never once did I think that he was trying to just get back and whatever. But at the same time, he feels like he's given his son tough love, you know, and all these other things. But it's just an interesting version of tough love.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that I don't think that there was always something behind it, and we found out what it was, obviously. And like he said later on in the episode that his dad like left him when he was 8, when the mom died. So
this is what I think happened, though. And this is like a prediction, spoiler / opinion. This is what I think happened. He left for a year. I think that's when he was doing his business and learning all kinds of whatevers, because I think that he is the dark, what we call him, the dark hood. And I think he spent that year. That was his version of mourning over his wife. Maybe it was a get even thing, because we don't know who shot her. We found out that she got shot in the head. So
I know we don't know who shot her, but I have a feeling that he has to do with it. He seems so ruthless.
Ooh, let's talk about him and Moira, because obviously Thea thinks that they're having an affair, and I think that's totally wrong. There's something going on, and they have something, I think, on each other or some sort of business deal, but I don't think it's romance.
Well, I think whatever's going on between them is something that we as viewers have already saw. It's just they have a business deal, and it's a business that they're working on together. They got rid of Moira's husband together, and now they got rid of Moira's new husband.
Right.
Next husband. So I think we pretty much know what's going on between the two of them, and Thea's making something out of nothing.
Which was kind of funny, to be honest with you, because I never would have seen any sort of chemistry going on between the two. So it was a little out there.
Maybe that coming up episodes Thea might be right.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to get to that point, and then it's going to be one of those things where like Thea saw it coming before anybody else did, and maybe before they even saw it coming.
Do you want this to happen?
Sure, why not? Let's have it on there. Let's do it. But I mean, I honestly think like down the line, I think something's going to happen with those two.
I think that her role is going to get a lot bigger as we go on. I mean, we saw her last week put her mom in her place. She's starting to voice her opinion. We're starting to see the rebel child come out. All of the animosity is starting to come out for all these things that she thinks about her mother. And you're right. She called it, mom is dishonest. Yeah. She's a liar. She's a cheat. She's all these things. And between that and then her drug use that we just got a sneak peek of, I think she's going to start getting really, really heavily worked into the storyline.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the thing with Thea though is like every time we witness her, she is a bitch to the fullest.
I liked it.
I don't know. I mean, I find her really obnoxious right now, but I do see some snippets of when I enjoy her is when she stands up to things, because sometimes she's
like how it is.
Head on nail. Yeah. Like last episode, she was cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, do you guys think, I'm going back to Merlin and Tommy, do you guys think that Tommy will eventually sign that paper, or do you think that, like, what was the purpose, do you guys think, of Merlin getting his son to possibly sign?
I don't know. To me, I don't know if there's a specific purpose. For me as a viewer, what I got out of it is that Dad's intentions were not so truthful. To me, it was just showing a piece of his character of who he really is versus it being more so about the paperwork, but I could be wrong.
Right. So you're thinking it's just more of the development of the character and the relationship.
Yeah.
Precisely.
So luckily, we didn't see too much of the Laurel and Tommy relationship. Surprisingly, she was very, very supportive of him.
She was.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end when he was confessing about his mom. Like, she grabbed his hand and she was like being the sweet girlfriend. I thought that was really cute.
I did too. I was almost convinced that she was in love with him.
Almost.
I don't go that far. I mean, I think she's got a good heart. She's caring and she's being empathetic towards the situation. But at the end of the day, I think she does see him as more of a friend. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know how long this relationship will last, but I think the more that we see Oliver and Laurel interact, that will be a game changer right there.
Oh, I have something to say.
Sure.
P.S. Okay, talking about Merlin, something that I also got off of an interview that they did with the actor who plays him, John Barrowman, I believe is his name, and he was just saying that his feelings towards his son, he actually wishes that his son was more like Oliver. And I think that'll be part of the crumbling of Tommy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he was saying that there was actually a scene that was deleted when Moira was in the hospital a couple episodes back. There was a scene where Oliver and Merlin are hugging and stuff like that. And it's their version of showing their respect for each other in the relationship. We just didn't get to see it because the scene got cut out.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Merlin is going to end up, Tommy Merlin is going to end up being the main villain over his dad eventually. Yeah. He's going to be a strong character. He's going to be so jaded.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the dad's liking Oliver, and then the girlfriend secretly is still in love with Oliver. That's enough to make somebody go AWOL. I was going to say AWOL.
I mean, it's going to be like revenge and
to the fullest.
Yeah, it's going to be awful. It's going to be worse than the Huntress, maybe.
Yeah.
So. Anyways, guys, before we continue, I wanted to thank you guys for tuning in, and also please check out iTunes or YouTube. Leave a comment, give us a rating, whether it's good or bad. Hopefully good. We'd like to keep the conversation going, so when you leave a comment, we like to leave comments back. We definitely read them, appreciate, and love our viewers. We currently have about 60 after shows. So if your TV's on for at least one show, we probably have an after show for it. So please keep the conversation going. Keep us going. So rate and comment. We love them.
Woohoo. 5 stars. Okay, so I want to go back to Diggle versus Oliver really quickly because there was a point to me saying this. Aside from the fact that they have their argument against each other, yes, they're arguing about Gaynor, who is the former
boss of
former
Diggle,
head.
He is the commanding officer.
There you go, the former commanding officer. So obviously Diggle's not quick to think that he's a bad guy. This guy got him into Black Hawk, you know, and my take on this is very interesting in the sense to where here's Oliver telling him it's in your face. This guy, you may have known him at one point in your life, but you don't know him anymore. And he's a bad guy, point blank. And what's interesting is going back to Thea and Mom, Thea's telling Oliver the same thing. He's Diggle in that situation.
Yeah, it's very true.
She's not who you think she is. She's a completely different person. It's right in your face and you're not seeing it. So I found the two situations, to parallel each other. It was quite interesting.
That's the really cool thing about every episode. There's always a parallel. So now we've got like the dissolve of Malcolm and Tommy, and then we've also got Moira and Thea's relationship dissolving, and obviously Oliver and Diggle's is changing as well.
Right.
So Thea thinks that her mom is a cheater. And guess what, guys? She's right. Not in the same sense, but she's obviously a liar.
Right.
She is.
Completely dishonest about everything that she is, who she is. I mean, she put 2 of her husbands away. Killed one, put one away. He might end up dying. We don't know.
She does care.
As an actress, she cares.
I know.
Oh, P.S. Another
how genuine is that, Karen?
I know. She's like, well, she did say in this episode, I need to trust and verify that my husband is still alive.
Wah, wah.
With that, it was kind of strange because it was a one-liner and then we heard nothing of it. Like there was no verification for us viewers, you know. So maybe next episode, but
well, I mean, all she gets is a picture on a cell phone, and that picture could have been taken before he was killed. I want a video. If you're gonna give me proof, give me a video with a date and a time.
Yeah.
And then him saying whatever it is.
What about a phone call?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm still alive. Who is this? Bye. Or something.
Well, what I loved is, going back, I keep going back to Thea and her mom and her calling all the shots as far as who she really is and telling Oliver's such as Mama's boy. And we saw he went right to Mama. As soon as Thea's saying, Mom is having an affair, she's this, she's that, here goes Oliver, telling Mom. And Mom puts on this whole act. Oh gosh, what did she say? But it was just funny because she's like, is this interrogation over?
Yeah. Because he was like questioning
him. Yeah. Oh, it was about Merlin.
Yeah.
And her. I mean, I see him occasionally for business advice, but no, I don't hang out with him.
It was like an actress being an actress.
But it was terrible.
And what bothered me was she was getting frustrated and she put the blame on her deceased husband. Robert, like, he cheated on me so many times. I didn't want to tell you this because, you know, to you, he's walking on water. And it's like, wow, you are putting a deceased man's name bad. He can't fend for himself.
Yeah.
So she is
that's low. It's really showing her character now, who she is.
And so, you know, Thea's having a birthday party, her 18th birthday. She gets some vertigo drugs. She goes upstairs, and what in the world is Malcolm doing up there talking to Moira, like at a party?
I don't know, it's dumb, and it just secures all the thoughts that are in Thea's mind about
their
an affair.
Well, because she saw him like put his hand on her back or blow her back
back.
You know, scandalous. But so you know, like she's supposed to be 18, and you know how 18-year-olds think, they just see one thing and they jump to conclusions. So that fueled.
But I love the fact that she's like being a drama queen about it, and my life is so terrible. Okay, I think I'm gonna take this vertigo now.
That's her thing. She's a very dramatic chick. And I think what's crazy is I feel like even though Oliver is obviously the vigilante and he's got an ulterior motive, I feel like Thea is a lot closer in discovering certain truths that Oliver
has not. You know what? That word just triggered a memory in my mind. Because speaking of vigilante, something else that I had read, which I thought was interesting, because last week we were talking about Oliver having that moment where he doesn't feel good in his own skin anymore. He's doubting himself. And the producers were saying that they did that on purpose because he has to learn how to regain humanity, is what they're saying, is because when you're on an island, he learned all these great skills, but he also had to learn how to survive.
Right.
And surviving in that world and surviving in the real world is a totally different thing. So he's got to relearn certain things. And so they're creating an evolution of his character for him starting now. This is the first time we heard the term 1%er, and that's all he's after at this point in time. But he's going to have to learn to not just focus on people who are rich doing bad things, but as a whole for the community, what's good for the community. So that's the evolution of him from vigilante going into hero. And so that they've planned the entire, they've mapped everything out with that evolution in mind. And I thought that was really cool. So they were saying that's why he's not necessarily Arrow yet. He's still referred to as the Hood because he's still the vigilante. But once he finally does become hero is when we're going to hear Arrow.
That makes sense.
That's good. There's gonna be a lot of development still waiting for us.
Yes.
I mean, I already think that we've seen a lot of improvement from Oliver Queen from episode 1 all the way down to episode 11.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep it real, even with the acting. No offense, you're hot, you're a great actor, but I feel like the acting has, and maybe it's just him settling into the character a little bit more.
You have a great body.
Speaking of body, see, all these things are triggering. Speaking of body, something else is that he's, if you guys haven't noticed, really worked out a lot, and the producers are purposely now creating shots to show off basically his hard work. So keep working hard.
I think that's like, it's a must. If you are going to be the Green Arrow on CW, you better have a rockin' body.
And you're going to be that gorgeous and have that amazing body. You better have some more shirtless scenes.
So did you miss it this episode?
There was like a little few minutes.
Okay.
Clips, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
I concur.
So, Moira and Thea have a obviously messed up relationship, but Moira does love Thea to death. But Thea is so upset that at her party, her mom ruins it, quote unquote. And so she takes her vertigo drug, walks out of this poppin' rave-like party, and goes out for a drive on drugs and crashes.
Like, we didn't see that coming.
Yeah. But, miraculously, she can walk. She just has a couple bruises. She still won't talk to her mom, but guess what? They took a toxology test, and guess what? She is driving under the influence, so she's handcuffed.
Right, and taken to jail. And I think that's going to create an even bigger storyline next week.
I think that's really important to develop Thea's character, who I hope is going to be Speedy.
I was going to say, but then we also have Roy Harper coming up, who's going to be also playing Speedy as well.
Yeah, but my theory. I think there's going to be 2 of them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know how that's going to happen, but I agree.
Yeah, and I think what I liked about that scene where Thea is arrested is Oliver looked genuinely surprised, even though he knows that his kid sister is up to no good. He's genuinely like, wow, you were on drugs, driving, and you got in an accident. So do you think that he's going to lose his faith in his sister?
I think that's, and this is again in stuff that I've read, he's going to now start going after her dealer because he feels like that's going to be like the only way he can save her. Does it change his viewpoint of her? Maybe a little bit, but at the same time, at the end of the day, it's your family. And he knows that she's going through a lot anyway. So I don't know, maybe he'll blame it on them missing for 5 years or the death of his father and the loss of Walter, or who knows.
Something. I think he might try to be more like overprotective and just like step into that big brother role, and be maybe like, wow, my sister was doing drugs and she just got in an accident and is now in jail. I need to watch over her more than I was and be more protective. I think he might move into the more protective.
Well, here's the thing, though. He has been so busy with this list that I do think that Thea's right, that he's kind of been neglecting his family. Now, it's improved a little bit this past couple episodes since we came back, but that's probably because Walter is missing, and so there's a lot of issues going on. So I hope that Oliver is going to start paying more attention to what's close to him. And he says, I got to keep them away from me because I have to keep these secrets. But I kind of think that there's another way of going about it because he's really separating himself from his family.
Right. Well, and now that he has Diggle, that's supposed to be, in a sense, like his assistant. That's supposed to alleviate some of the time that you're spending doing all this crime fighting. And it was really cool for him to have that moment with Diggle at the very end, talking about, this is why I chose you, because you in a sense, complete me. Oh, you complete me. But you know what I mean? Like, you have that trust in people, and you can see good in people that I am unable to do right now, obviously because of his past experience on the island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, maybe that just also solidifies him putting more trust and more responsibility into Diggle, so therefore he can have that time with his family.
Yeah, well, I hope so, especially in seeing that his sister is going down a landslide, and obviously his mother's up to no good.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's going to figure out that Walter was kidnapped by people that are related to Moira before he comes back.
I think at the rate we're going, Thea's going to figure it out before he does.
I mean, she gets to things pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So do you think Thea's going to spend any time in jail, or do you think she'll be bailed out with the money that the Queen's got?
I think she'll be bailed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just because she wants to repair the relationship with her daughter, she's not going to leave her in jail. And I feel like if she did that, then any like hope of them mending it would be done, because she'd be like, you left me in there, you know? But I think she's going to try her best to get her out and try to mend the relationship, because Thea's already not a big fan of her at the moment.
Right.
So
I just want to know, Thea must be a huge druggie, because she had a lot of vertigo pills in there, and she was like, I'm not scared to take this while driving.
Right. But yeah, but I feel like they insinuated that that was her first time.
Exactly, but then she was just like, I'm down, so but
She was upset.
I mean, I know in previous episodes she's been caught like slipping drugs on the side and stuff.
Really? I missed that.
Like there was like a party, maybe season 1, episode 1 or 2.
Huh.
Like Oliver's welcome back party or something. She took a drug or something like that. So she was kind of declining, but I always felt like, oh, she's starting to rise up again with her brother being back, but guess not.
I just think she's very impressionable because she's going through so much emotionally, and obviously nobody's in her corner, so just why not rebel?
Yeah, could you guys clarify this for me? Is that car that she crashed, was that her birthday car that she's been?
I think that was.
Yeah.
I think that's what I took it as. I think it was, because that's why her first question was like, how's the car?
Yeah. So
And I feel like if it's an old car, that wouldn't be your first question.
Well, unless she took it, because it was a brand new convertible, but she could have taken it from her mom, because the whole time mom's like, I'm not getting you a car.
Exactly.
You don't know how to drive.
Yeah.
And it is a nice car, but they are the queens.
True.
So
Probably like 10 of them lined up.
they do.
Just the spare
sure.
weekend car, you know.
The drug car.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, the big story of this episode was the heist.
Yes.
So obviously, the heist, the leader of it is Ted Gaynor.
Right.
Who is Diggle's commanding officer.
Right.
So when Diggle figures out that Oliver is going to get Ted Gaynor, he's like, no, you cannot. He saved my life. He got me this job. You know, don't do it. Let me look into it first. Do you think that was a smart move for Oliver to kind of, I mean, ultimately kind of trust him, but not really? Or do you think Oliver should have been like...
I don't think Oliver trusted him in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, like, he didn't trust him, but at the same time, he gave him a chance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, he gave him a chance only after Diggle gave him a speech about, please just, haven't you ever been in a situation where, which obviously Oliver's like, no. But,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I think that's what it is, because the whole time, from the get-go, he went right for him. He said, okay, fine, I'm not going to go after him per se, but I'm going to question him.
Well, he did go for him, and then Diggle saved him.
Yeah.
So,
Which I was like, what are you doing? Dumb.
I thought this episode was good because of the heist.
Yeah.
I really did. I liked the action in it.
There was good action, and Carly
Great
was
fight scenes.
kidnapped or almost dying, and you were on the edge for a second.
Did you catch though what Gaynor was saying to Diggle? And I don't know if he was just planting a seed or what it was about the fact that it looked like Carly has the hots for you in a sense, and Diggle's that's my sister-in-law. Not anymore.
Right.
We caught that.
Yeah.
So I'm
You think it's
wondering-
ew?
Well, yeah, your brother was married to her, and I get that he's dead now, but that's just your typical scandalous
That's like an old
CW
time.
Pearl Harbor storyline.
I think there's something kind of romantic about that storyline, because from episode 1, I got it right this time. Episode 1, you see that, or whatever Diggle appears, that he is digging his sister-in-law.
I mean, this is...
And he's staying away because of people like you who will think, ew.
I if I were him, I'd be afraid my brother would come back and haunt me or something. I don't know.
But like, it was an old tradition, like back in the day. You know, like if your brother died and a brother was alive, they would take care of the wife and like marry the wife so she's not alone. You know, but maybe, I mean. I know some people who've done that, and
I'm like, I guess I wasn't part of that tradition.
but it was like back in the day, you know, like if
no, it makes sense. It totally makes sense.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, maybe they'll change your mind.
Maybe.
I feel like they'd be cute together.
I do too. I mean, they're both lonely souls, and they're both kind of like trying to not be together because of the
circumstance,
deceased. You know, they do have respect, but hey, man, if like love changes, it changes.
At the same time, the other person is not around, so
I'm sure that, you know, Diggle's brother would be like, hey, she's a great gal. If someone else was gonna have her, I'd want you to have her.
I wouldn't. I'm like, ew. That might. See, I'm about to get.
we know
I'm about to say something inappropriate. Yeah, exactly. No. It's gross.
So the heist thing. So for Oliver to figure out what's happening, he has like some sort of USB drive, and he takes it over to Felicity Smoke, our tech chick, and he asks her to look into it. By the way,
that relationship.
Another relationship. I feel so bad for her because she's totally smitten by him.
Yes.
Yeah, and she doesn't care about the wine, even though it sounded like she was an alcoholic. She just wants to be with him.
Right.
He will do, like, he will make her do anything.
And he
knows
he knows he has that control over her kind of thing. Like,
I disagree. I think he might know to an extent. I don't think he realizes how much she might potentially like him. Because guys are dumb like that. Excuse me, sorry, men. But they can be. I think he's a little oblivious. I mean, she's very, okay. Oh, okay. You know, but I don't think he catches that. He's too busy in focus mode of his purpose, if that makes sense.
I think you're right that guys tend not to catch things like that when they're focused because they're not very good at multitasking generally. No offense.
Sorry, guys.
This is Arrow After Show. It's not the man beating show. We swear.
We swear. But I think that he knows, and he uses that to his advantage because she will go the extra mile to get information for him, which she did.
And I think she's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think she's a really smart chick. I think we're going to see more of her in the future, and I feel like she could potentially evolve to be something, whether it be a hero or I don't foresee her being a villain.
With a name like Felicity Smoke, I'm sure.
This is true.
That's true.
I mean, and plus he knows about it because why would he mention the wine thing? That's like kind of like playing with her.
Yeah.
I feel like if he knows it to some degree because he can use it to his advantage to get her to do more, like you said. Because like if a girl didn't like it, like, okay, I can't do it, figure it out on your own, like bye. And like
exactly.
Like, but then like she likes him, so she wants to like impress him and like go that extra mile and be like, oh my god, maybe he'll like notice, or maybe he'll, you know.
Yeah. And she's always found by herself in the dark. So
this poor girl,
this poor girl. I just like, girl, I need to take you out.
Well, you know, they say that by the end of the season, somebody else is going to know who Arrow is, and it's going to be a good person versus a bad person. I'm wondering if it's going to be her because they keep leading it. They keep leading it to, will it be Laurel? Will it be Tommy? Will it be? What if it's Felicity?
Well, Tommy, I don't think is. If they say good person, I don't think.
That's true. That's true. Good point.
He's not going that direction.
He's not. He's definitely not.
They're building him in the bad tracks.
Yeah.
So Felicity is looking around through the drive USB thing, and she figures out where the heist is going to happen next. So our boy Oliver goes out there, and then he starts fighting and all that stuff, but it doesn't work out again. They run out. He does kill someone. Yes. Which is nice, but now they have one man down. So
they need another.
They need another one. And guess who is going to be conned into being the other one? Diggle. Because he's so trusting that, you know, they kidnap Carly. I'm sorry. Her name.
Yeah.
They kidnap her and use her as blackmail to say, hey, you got to join our forces or she's dead. So then he is on the next heist, and he's the one carrying the smoke grenade thing. Right. And then he doesn't do it, but then he says, hey, I'm the one carrying it. He shoots it at them. So what did you think of like this whole debacle going on? The heist. Did you like how it was forming?
I'm going to go on for a second, so I'll give you opportunity to say your opinion first before I cut you out, because I know how I am.
I mean, it was very dramatic. I liked that portion, you know, like how they incorporated and they used Carly as, not bait, but you know what I'm talking about, like as the kidnapped person. That's
Bribery.
Yes,
Bribery.
there we go, not bait. But yeah, and I liked how like at the end, Oliver comes to like save the situation in the end, but it was very dramatic. I liked it. It was action packed. It was. I was watching that minute. I was like, I gotta.
I know we got like maybe 4 or 5 scenes of good action. This episode.
It was good. They brought it back.
See, this is what I was looking at when I was watching that. Aside from the fact that it was a great fight scene, the fact that the motive behind everything, Ted Gainer's motive was not necessarily just to get money, but more so also respect and a vengeance, if you will, because here he is, this war hero, and everybody who's on his team is a part of the Marine Corps. And he's like, you know, overseas we're trusted with money, we're trusted with lives, we're trusted with this, and this. We come back home and we're nannies with a taser gun. Basically saying you come back home from being in the military and there's nothing there for you. The government's not taking care of us. We're underqualified for all these jobs when we have all these skills. So it's almost his way of getting back, I feel like, at society, if you will. And money is just a benefit.
well, the thing is, he did say like it was going to be his last heist until his boy got killed. Right. So now, because of the vigilante, they have to do multiple ones, which was kind of strange to me. Because it was like, well, why 1 for 1? But anyway, so I liked that heist. I think it was important, but I was kind of sad to see him get killed. I was kind of a little confused because I know that Arrow does kill people, but I was like, man, he's talking to the hunters all the time about how not to kill if you can avoid it, but he killed him.
Yeah, but at the same time, that was Diggle's life at risk. I think he did it for a good reason. He wasn't just, like, the Huntress was going about it where she was just killing out of anger and just whoever was doing something wrong, she killed him. Whereas I think the Arrow waits until it's a moment where that's his only choice. Other than that, he's going for arms and legs or something just to stop people.
Do you think Diggle would have killed Ted?
I don't think so.
No. I think he would have shot him in the leg or something, but I don't think he had it in him to kill him.
Are you guys convinced that Ted would have killed Diggle?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. He even told him, he's like, you're not going to shoot me. You can't do it.
Right.
He's like, you can't. And then, like, I like that Oliver shot him down.
For a second, I thought it sounded like a gun, and then you hear the arrow sound.
And then you see the arrow on him, and he's on the floor. Yeah. Which I like that in the last second he came
I like that, too. I like that a lot.
Because in the beginning, he was like, no, he's a good guy, da-da-da. And in the end, Oliver ended up being correct, and he ended up saving his friend's life.
Yeah. It was interesting that, you know, Oliver wasn't supposed to be there because Diggle was going to go there. He went there on his own, but then he planted.
Yeah, but Diggle knew. That's the thing, is Oliver's trying to be slick and plant this, not homing device, but...
It's like a secret bullet or whatever.
Yeah, to hear. What is it called?
The hearing...
you guys know what I'm talking about. Exactly. So he could eavesdrop on the conversation. And the thing is Diggle's like, you need to be a little bit more slick. But at the same time, that's why he took more of a risk in not going along. Oh, yeah, because he knew eventually that Arrow was going to show up. If he ever got himself into a position where he couldn't handle the situation, because he kind of insinuated that in the last conversation.
So that also insinuates as well that Diggle wasn't 100% sure about Ted either.
Not necessarily.
I think so. Because if you trusted the guys 100%, you'd be like, hey, Oliver, you shouldn't be doing this, and take it out.
But he didn't. I don't think he necessarily knew it was going to be Ted that was going to be there. He already knew he was investigating a dangerous area because he was going to the truck that had the blood in it. He was going to collect a specimen. So he was obviously in a situation where he was at risk, not realizing who he was at risk from. So, you know, and it's always kind of nice to have that little extra security in a sense to know that someone is listening in. So if you do get yourself in a situation, you'll have backup.
Well, you know, Ted totally, you know, shocks Diggle. But do you think that Diggle was that hurt by the betrayal? He didn't seem that.
I think so. A little bit. Like just disappointed, and obviously disappointed in his gut instinct because he was so sure this guy was innocent to the point where he was arguing with Oliver, which is supposed to be his partner.
Right.
But do you think that it's going to change Diggle's mindset in the future episodes?
Potentially, I think it could make him a little more defensive.
I mean, I kind of hope that doesn't go, like his trust thing doesn't go away, because obviously it's very important to Oliver to have someone that is more trusting. So hopefully that doesn't change him, but
I don't think so. I mean, it's solidified Oliver realizing that they need to trust each other more. But speaking of trust, I also want to speak of the parallel story, because we do keep going back and forth between the island, and it's the same exact situation. I mean, we can kind of map it out for anybody who didn't see the show, but basically we get back to the island and there's Oliver. He's dressed in costume trying to act like he's a part of the bad guy crew. And really the one person that reveals, or not reveals, but gets him in trouble or gets him caught is, what is the young Fao?
The guy, Yang Fei, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, but that's the thing, though. Oliver feels completely betrayed.
Right.
And Diggle, on the other hand, he says, sure, he feels betrayed. And I think there might be a little change in him, but what was good to see was Oliver gave him his book of the names.
List, yeah.
And Diggle gave it back to him and said, yo, don't show me this until you tell me who to do. So that was like, wow, they have strong camaraderie, which I really liked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I think now Diggle might listen to Oliver more, that that Oliver proved him right, like proved him wrong, I guess.
Right.
In this situation with Mr. Gaynor, and I think now, like, if Oliver says something, he'll be like, oh, okay, like, you know what? I was wrong the first time. Let me just like actually listen to this kid and see what he has to say.
Right. So any opinions, though, you guys, as far as the island or what was going on?
Oh, well, let's talk about the island, because, you know, we see little snippets of it, but it's so revealing of why Oliver has become the person he is now.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think is going to, like, what was your thought? Because I was like, oh, my God, when I saw the mask and it was revealed that it was Yao Fei.
Sorry, guys.
Question mark?
Sorry, guys. Well, I was a little disappointed. I had a thought in my mind only because of the fact, they're wearing these masks and all you see eyes. And he's Asian, obviously. There weren't any other Asian guys with the little masks on, so it did kind of strike a little like aha moment.
Really, did it?
Yeah, and at the same time, I was very disappointed because I don't understand. Now it's a whole nother story because I don't understand his purpose. Here you are helping nurse Oliver back to health, teaching him all these secrets and all these whatevers, and you're on the bad guy's side.
Yeah, that's what I was surprised too, because throughout every episode, you're led to believe that this is the only guy that Oliver can trust. So I don't know, because now seeing that this reveal makes Oliver not trust people, it also feels like there's got to be a reason.
Why teach him to take him down?
Exactly. There has to be a reason why he did that. So maybe there's going to be a twist, and it's not him that Oliver doesn't trust, and it's something else that shattered it.
Did anybody else catch the fact that in the first episode where they showed Yao Fei, he was in a green hood?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm wondering what that all has to do with
what
it.
the significance.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was Yao Fei, guys. You're right.
That's why I think it's like he has to be some sort of his master or his mentor or something. And I don't think that this deception is all we're going to see. There has to be a reason. I still want to hope that he's on Oliver's side, and it's not the reason why Oliver is who he is today. By the way, he was Byron Mann, the Yao Fei guy, was Street Fighter. Not Street Fighter. He was in Street Fighter Ryu, and he was like, I just think he was so hot when I was a little kid. So I saw him again, like, oh my God, he's an Arrow.
He was also in Catwoman. How funny.
Interesting.
He was on Catwoman?
Yeah, he was, let me tell you.
Boop, 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 boop.
He was so random. I didn't know he was in this.
Yeah.
He was Wesley in Catwoman.
Well, I definitely want to see more of him and the island.
I'm waiting to see who his daughter is. They put out something in December where they were casting for Shadow. I don't know if it's supposed to be Shadow just without the W, or if it's Asian pronunciation. It's something else that I'm not saying correctly. But they put out the casting for that in December, and they still haven't declared who that person is. So at this point, I don't know if the writers are wondering, or maybe it's just me that's wondering if they are going to write her into this season, or if it's going to be something that's going to be later on in the future. I don't know.
I think it might be towards the end of the season, because if they're already thinking about it and casting people.
I feel like they,
because things are moving really fast. So I had a thought, and now I lost it. But because of that, and until I find out, let's move on to news and gossip because I was knowing that you have a lot.
AfterBuzz TV News.
My own little dance. Okay, news and gossip, not spoilers or anything like that, but there's a lot of great people that are going to be coming up throughout the rest of the end of the season. So I wanted to talk a little bit about them. We already talked about Seth Gable coming in as the Count. And then I want to talk a little bit about Speedy, or the to-be potential Speedy, which is Roy Harper's character, which is Colton Haynes. I don't know if I'm saying, Colton Haynes, who was on what's called Teen Wolf on MTV, and now he's going to show up here. He and Thea are potentially going to have a little bit of chemistry, and how they meet apparently is he steals her purse. How romantic. But he's a bad kid from the Glades, which is supposedly the worst part of...
Thea likes that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's toyed with a little bit of trouble, but I don't know if she's necessarily dated somebody from the wrong side of the tracks. So I feel like it's gonna cause a little bit of trouble before maybe he becomes a good guy. But I could be wrong, because what I had read about the actual comic book character is Speedy is known for also being a heroin addict. So I don't know how that ties in and how that is relative to being a superhero. Maybe one of our fans could tweet us and let us know.
I think when it comes to sidekicks, usually, a lot of times in comic books, sidekicks usually have like a jaded past, so then they kind of like are starting to fall off a deep end, and somehow someone like Arrow comes and saves them, like Batman and one of his Robins, you know.
Right.
So that does make sense. He's a thief.
Another person that's going to be showing up is a gentleman by the name of Manu Bennett, who is known for Spartacus, and apparently he's playing the role of Slade Wilson / Deathstroke, or so we think. But he could be actually playing somebody else. As weird as that sounds, I think they're going to lead us to believe that that's who he's playing because he's masked. But in essence, he's really not that character. He's somebody else masked.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we have 2 Merlins right now, and we're like, who is going to be who?
Yeah. I think it's the dad. I'm pretty sure the dad's going to be the Dark Archer, and then I'm not quite sure what that will lead Tommy to turn into, but something on the bad side.
I think that, that dad is our Dark Archer, but I do have a feeling that Tommy is going to be the Big Daddy Merlin.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Another thing I'm really excited to talk about, or not talk about, but see in the future, is having the supervillains team up against Oliver.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to have some tag team action going on.
Maybe it'll be like a Justice League versus Injustice League.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I can't imagine what it would be like if they brought all these superhero characters together. And good luck with that, CW. And if you do, I'm hoping for it.
Well, I mean, not everything is written out completely, so you never know.
We've got.
Let's see here.
Well, we do have one tweet from our Twitter friend Travis Bunch. He sent out some news that Laurel Lance's mother is going to be played by Alex Kingston from ER.
Oh, okay. I wonder when she's going to show up.
I don't know. But I think that's pretty cool because that means that we're going to see more of a backstory with Laurel and her father and why her father is so protective. And he is. I wanted to see more of him in this episode, by the way, but we didn't. Maybe next episode. But I don't think he's shady. I just think he's so protective.
He's disillusioned.
He's kind of crazy at this point.
He's so obsessed with figuring out or catching the arrow and proving that he's actually evil, even though he's doing kind of good things, that I think it's just clouding his vision as to what is good and what's not.
I think obsession is the right word. He's extremely passionate about figuring it out.
Yes.
So that might be his demise. Wouldn't that be a trip if he became a supervillain?
That would be cool.
But I'm confused. Are her parents divorced? They didn't really say. I thought her mom passed away.
I think her mom passed away.
So then how is she coming back?
Maybe it'll be a backstory.
Flashback. Or she's another Oliver. She comes back from the dead.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
So, I mean, that'd be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other news and gossip?
That's all I have right now because I want to wait till future AfterBuzz episodes to release the rest of the information that I have.
Because there's so much always coming out.
Yes, but that's what I love about this show is there's so much extra news and gossip and backstories to find out and read about. And it's good stuff.
Yeah. No, it's great. And I love seeing these characters develop. And let's try to talk about our developing predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Anything that comes out to you guys that you want to yell out about these things?
I don't know. This is not a prediction. This is a I wish, but I kind of think I would like to see Oliver and Felicity heat things up a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know if I feel sorry for her. No offense to her character. But you know what I mean? I think it'd be, I don't know.
I mean, I think
he needs a
Oliver-
little love in his life. That's what he needs.
He already got the Huntress. She's making a comeback eventually. And I think there's going to be more than just her that's going to cause and stir some issues that will start separating even more Laurel and Oliver. So,
But see, I don't feel like there was much chemistry between him and the Huntress. I think they connected on something, which was like their heroism, or on her end, lack thereof.
Right.
They connected on the fact that they have a secret identity. But as far as there being passion and stuff like that, I didn't see any of that.
yeah, but he's going to, I mean, obviously he's going to have a lot more women coming into his life, right?
I definitely.
Because, I mean, I think there's a lot of casting of women that are going to cause issues, apparently, allegedly.
Interesting.
Reportedly.
Cast me.
Cast Alikona.
Right?
So, yeah, I think that we've talked about a lot of our predictions that we think that Tommy's going to be
The Dark Archer?
well, Tommy's going to be the Merlin. I think.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Getting confused over it.
Any other predictions?
That's all I got.
Okay. You.
I just think that Diggle and Carly's relationship will become more into something that it's going to progress into like love or something like that.
Yeah, I think we saw a lot more of that in this episode because they really
They're building up.
I like
They're
that.
building it.
I hope things change for you, Alikona.
Yeah.
So, you guys, throughout the week, where can our viewers follow you?
You can follow me at Kiss My Passport, or you can follow me on Facebook and Tumblr under Alikona Bradford.
You can find me on Twitter at Annika_Michelle. And Facebook /AnnikaMichelle1.
We could all be Facebook friends. And you can find me at KAORIOUS, Kaorius, and on my White on Rice show. And also you can find everybody here on AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.